She was once the face of a political revolution, a small-town governor who suddenly became one of the most talked-about names in America. And now, in 2025, Sarah Palin is still making headlines, just in very different ways. Whether it's her bold political opinions, surprising media appearances, or heated legal battles, she's managed to stay in the spotlight long after her campaign days ended. So, what is Sarah Palin really up to these days? And how did she go from a national candidate to a courtroom fighter, media figure, and still a strong voice in conservative politics? Sarah Palin hasn't stepped back from the political world, not even close. Even though she hasn't won an election in years, she continues to push hard for conservative causes. She's loud, confident, and isn't afraid to speak her mind. She's still a huge supporter of Donald Trump and often shares her frustration that, despite backing him early on, she hasn't been included in his inner circle. She recently spoke out about how disappointed she was not to be given a role in the Department of Energy, something she cares deeply about because of her experience in Alaska. Palin sees energy as one of America's biggest strengths and says it's directly tied to national security. She's even said she's still open to serving in a future Trump administration if she's asked. What's even more surprising is how she's been treated by her own party. Palin pointed out that she didn't even get credentials to attend the Republican convention, even though she's the only living Republican vice presidential nominee who fully supported Trump. She believes that some of the people close to him are blocking others out, and she hopes that if things get difficult for Trump politically, he'll bring in new voices, including hers. Even though she didn't win her 2022 bid for Congress, that hasn't slowed her down. She's still invited to major conservative events, gives speeches to packed audiences, and is seen as a kingmaker in certain Republican circles. When she speaks, people still listen, especially when it comes to values like limited government, strong families, and energy independence. She talks a lot about restoring trust in American politics and always brings up her roots in Alaska, her belief in small-town values, and her dislike for political consultants and scripted campaigns. But politics isn't the only thing keeping her busy. One of the biggest chapters in her recent life has been her legal fight with the New York Times. Back in 2017, the paper published an editorial that linked her political messages to a tragic mass shooting in Arizona. It was a serious accusation, and Palin wasn't going to let it slide. She sued for defamation, saying the article damaged her reputation and hurt her family. The first trial didn't go her way. The judge dismissed it, and the jury didn't support her claims. But Palin didn't give up. She appealed the decision, and in April 2025, the retrial began. This second trial hasn't received as much media attention, but it's been emotional. One of the biggest moments was when James Bennett, the editor who wrote the original piece, broke down in court. He apologized and admitted he made a mistake while working under pressure. Palin's legal team argued that the editorial caused serious personal harm and even brought up how her daughter was just 9 years old at the time, showing how deeply the whole thing affected her family. This case has stirred conversations across the country, not just about Palin, but about how the media covers public figures and where the line is between free speech and defamation. Meanwhile, Sarah Palin hasn't disappeared from TV screens. She continues to speak on news shows, political panels, and sometimes even entertainment programs. Remember when she appeared on The Masked Singer? That's right, she's not afraid to mix politics with pop culture. Her speeches still center around her personal story, her faith, and the things she believes make America strong. Whether she's talking about oil, freedom, or the media, Palin speaks in a way that connects with people who feel ignored by traditional politics. She also shows up regularly at conservative events as a keynote speaker. Her message usually focuses on personal responsibility, getting involved in the system, and pushing back against what she sees as government overreach. And when she criticizes the political world, she doesn't just go after Democrats. She often targets the Republican establishment too. Palin believes the party has lost touch with everyday people and wants to see it return to what she calls first principles. Even though she's not holding office and isn't always front and center in the media, Sarah Palin still has a lot to say and a loyal group of followers who keep cheering her on. From her rise in Alaska to the national stage to her current roles as commentator, advocate, and courtroom fighter, her story is still being written. Love her or hate her, Palin knows how to stay relevant. And with her continued passion, resilience, and refusal to be silenced, it looks like she's not going anywhere anytime soon. If you found this story interesting, don't forget to hit that button, share your thoughts in the comments, and stay tuned for more content like this.